Introduction and backstory. The story begins on a quiet city street where Marcus, a black homeless man in his late 30s, sits on a worn bench in a bustling park. The camera pans to his rugged face, showing the wear and tear of a hard life. He clutches a small bundle of belongings and gazes into the distance, reflecting on how his life reached this point. Marcus once had a promising future as a construction worker. Hard-working and dedicated, he dreamed of saving enough money to start his own small business. But fate had other plans. One day at work, a tragic accident left Marcus with a severe injury. Unable to return to his physically demanding job, he faced mounting medical bills. Soon after, his landlord evicted him, and with no family to turn to, Marcus found himself living on the streets. Despite his circumstances, Marcus never let bitterness consume him. He was known in the neighborhood as the kind homeless man who would share what little he had with others, whether it was a struggling stray animal or a passerby in need of a kind word. We see Marcus feeding a few pigeons with crumbs from an old sandwich, a faint smile on his face. Though life had been cruel, his heart remained soft. Voiceover. Life hadn't been kind to Marcus, but he refused to let it rob him of his humanity. He held on to hope in his own quiet way, believing that one day things might change. As the evening sets in, Marcus wraps himself in a tattered blanket, ready to spend another night under the stars. Little does he know, his life is about to take an unexpected turn. The incident with the injured dog. It's a chilly evening and Marcus walks the dimly lit streets, searching for a safe spot to rest. The city is alive with distant sounds, cars honking, footsteps echoing, but Marcus is used to blending into the background, unseen and unheard. As he passes by a narrow alley, he hears a faint, pitiful whimper. He stops in his tracks, his ears straining to locate the sound. Voiceover. In the silence of the night, a sound called out to Marcus, a sound of pain, of desperation. He couldn't ignore it. Following the noise, he ventures into the shadowy alley. The sight stops him cold. A small dog lies in the corner, trembling, its leg twisted unnaturally. The dog's fur is matted, and its ribs are visible through its thin frame. Its eyes meet Marcus's, filled with fear and pain. Kneeling down, Marcus speaks softly. "Hey there, buddy. It's okay. I'm not gonna hurt you." The dog growls weakly at first, but doesn't move away. Marcus notices a makeshift leash tied to its collar, suggesting the dog may have been abandoned. He reaches out, and after a moment of hesitation, the dog allows him to touch its head. "I can't leave you like this," Marcus whispers, his voice breaking. He removes his only jacket, carefully wraps the dog in it, and cradles it in his arms. The camera follows Marcus as he walks several blocks to the nearest animal clinic. The journey is tough. His arms ache and the night is cold, but he never slows down. When he arrives at the clinic, the receptionist eyes him suspiciously. "Do you have money for treatment?" she asks bluntly, noticing his tattered appearance. Marcus shakes his head. "No, ma'am, but this dog needs help. Please do something. I'll figure out a way to pay." The receptionist hesitates, but the veterinarian overhears the conversation and steps in. "We'll treat the dog," the vet says, "but you'll have to leave him here for the night." Relieved, Marcus nods. "Thank you. Please, just take care of him." Marcus waits outside the clinic all night, unable to leave the dog behind. As dawn breaks, the vet comes out and assures him that the dog, now named Buddy, is stable but needs rest and care. Voiceover. For Marcus, Buddy wasn't just another stray. In that moment, they were kindred spirits, both broken, both longing for a second chance. Buddy's soft whimper when Marcus leaves tugs at his heart. Determined to see this through, Marcus makes a silent vow. He will find a way to help Buddy no matter what. Bonding with Buddy. The next day, Marcus returns to the clinic to check on Buddy. He spends the little money he earned from cleaning windows to buy some basic dog food and a cheap leash. The vet greets him with a smile and allows him to visit Buddy. As Marcus enters the recovery room, Buddy's ears perk up. His tail wags slightly, a sign of trust beginning to bloom. Marcus kneels by Buddy's side, gently stroking his head. Voiceover. In Buddy's eyes, Marcus saw something familiar: pain, fear, and a flicker of hope. It was a reflection of his own journey. Over the next few days, Marcus becomes a regular visitor at the clinic. He works small, odd jobs to earn enough to cover Buddy's care. Sometimes it's sweeping storefronts. Other times it's carrying groceries for strangers. Every penny he earns goes toward Buddy's recovery. One evening, as Marcus sits on a park bench with Buddy by his side, he reflects on their bond. Buddy's limp is improving, and he seems happier and more energetic. Marcus shares bits of his meals with him, even when it means going hungry himself. "You're stronger than me, Buddy," Marcus says with a chuckle, scratching behind the dog's ears. "But we're in this together." One day, while Marcus and Buddy are playing in the park, a well-dressed man walking his own dog notices them. The man watches as Marcus talks to Buddy as though they're old friends, his compassion and care evident in every gesture. The man, whose name is Robert, approaches them. "That's a fine dog you've got there," Robert says with a smile. Marcus, caught off guard, nods. "Yeah, he's a good boy. Found him injured in an alley. Took him to the vet. Well, here we are." Robert is intrigued. "You did all that for a dog? That's impressive. Not everyone would go to such lengths." Marcus shrugs modestly. "He needed help. I couldn't just leave him." Robert thanks him for sharing the story and walks away, but he can't stop thinking about Marcus and Buddy. Voiceover. Sometimes the most profound connections happen when we least expect them. Marcus didn't know it yet, but his act of kindness had caught the attention of someone who could change his life: the encounter with Robert. A few days after meeting Robert, Marcus is sitting in his usual spot at the park with Buddy. The morning sun filters through the trees and Buddy playfully tugs at his leash. It's one of the rare moments Marcus feels a sense of peace. Suddenly, a sleek black car pulls up near the park. Marcus looks up, surprised, as Robert steps out, dressed in a sharp suit. He walks over with a confident stride, holding a small folder in his hand. "Marcus," Robert greets warmly, "I've been thinking about you and Buddy ever since we met." Marcus stands, slightly nervous. Hi, is something wrong?" Robert shakes his head. "Not at all. In fact, I came to talk to you about an opportunity." Robert gestures for Marcus to sit, and they settle on a bench. He begins asking questions about Marcus's life, where he's from, what he used to do for work, and how he ended up in his current situation. At first, Marcus hesitates, unsure if he can trust this stranger. But something about Robert's genuine demeanor encourages him to open up. Marcus recounts his story: the construction accident, the medical bills, losing his home, and his struggles to survive. Through it all, he emphasizes how finding Buddy has given him a renewed sense of purpose. Robert listens intently, nodding occasionally. When Marcus finishes, Robert smiles. "You know, Marcus," Robert begins, "what you did for Buddy says a lot about who you are. You didn't just save a dog. You showed responsibility, compassion, and determination. Those are rare qualities." Marcus looks down, unsure of how to respond. "I just did what anyone would do," he says quietly. Robert shakes his head. "Not everyone would, and that's why I'm here." Opening the folder, Robert hands Marcus a card and a letter. "I run a private security company. We're always looking for people with strong character, people we can trust to handle responsibility. I'd like to offer you a job." Marcus stares at him in disbelief. "Me? A job? But I don't even have a place to stay." Robert smiles. "We'll take care of that. We'll provide housing, training, and everything you need to get back on your feet. All I ask is that you bring the same heart and dedication you showed Buddy to this job." Tears well up in Marcus's eyes. For so long he'd felt invisible, overlooked by the world. Now, someone was giving him a chance, a real chance to rebuild his life. "Thank you," Marcus whispers, his voice shaking. "I won't let you down." Buddy barks happily as if sensing the joy in the moment. Voiceover. In that instant, Marcus's life changed forever. A simple act of kindness had opened a door he never thought possible. The job offer and new beginning. The very next week, Marcus begins his training at Robert's security company. For the first time in years, he has a roof over his head, warm meals, and a sense of stability. Buddy becomes his constant companion, bringing joy not just to Marcus but to everyone at the company. Marcus works hard, learning quickly and proving himself to be reliable and trustworthy. His colleagues admire his determination and the way he treats everyone with respect, no matter their position. Voiceover. Marcus's journey wasn't just about rebuilding his life, it was about rediscovering his worth. Every step forward was a testament to his resilience. One day, Robert calls Marcus into his office. "I've been watching your progress," Robert says, smiling. "You're doing great work here. I think it's time we move you up." Marcus is stunned. "Move me up? What do you mean?" Robert slides a contract across the desk. "We're promoting you to team leader. You've earned it." Tears fill Marcus's eyes as he looks at the offer. "I don't know how to thank you," he says. Robert leans back in his chair. "You already did. You showed me what kind of person you are from the moment you helped Buddy. We need people like you. People who care." Months later, Marcus stands on a stage at a company event. Robert introduces him as a shining example of what compassion and hard work can achieve. As Marcus speaks, Buddy sits proudly by his side. "When I found Buddy, I thought I was saving him," Marcus says. "But the truth is, he saved me. He reminded me that even when life gets hard, there's always a chance to turn things around, if you stay kind, stay hopeful, and keep moving forward." The audience erupts into applause, and Marcus looks down at Buddy, who wags his tail as if saying, "We did it." Voiceover. Marcus's story reminds us all that small acts of kindness can ripple out in ways we never expect. His life was changed because he chose to care, and in doing so, he inspired everyone around him. Closing remarks, optional. The screen fades to Marcus walking Buddy in the park, both of them happier and stronger than before. A message appears. Kindness costs nothing, but it can change everything. Never underestimate the power of doing the right thing.